Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be my coverage of the Razer Viper V3. I've got a copy in black, I have a copy in white, and the only difference between the black and the white, my black is 1 gram lighter at 54 grams, my white is 55 grams. The coating, though, is, I think, vastly different. My black copy has that Smooth Touch Dave coating. It feels very natural. It almost feels like skin in a sense. It's very smooth, but also very grippy. It locks your hand into it, and even with my humid climate, I felt locked in. The white coating to me feels more plasticky. I just don't really enjoy it, and it feels like oddly sticky at times. So when I do want to swap my fingers around and kind of relax my fingers or then move to a hybrid grip after kind of focusing down and spraying, it's a little bit harder to do it or just doesn't feel as natural. So I am finding myself going to the black over the white. The only difference between the internals of the V3 and the V2, it now has that new Gen 2 Focus Pro optical sensor, has native 8K out of the box. 8K performance to me felt great. You can see the new skate design, overall much larger than the original. And then it does have the new gen of the optical switches, which to me, the plastic over those switches, it's very consistent throughout you hitting it from the bottom and the top, except really at like the very, very bottom. Overall, the switches, though, felt really nice in-game and both for desktop usage. The thing that kind of has me scratching my head, though, and where my question lays, is why this is called a Viper V3. We kind of saw it with the Death Adder V3, where the old Death Adder shape just got wiped off the face of the earth, and now we're just left with the Death Adder V3 to take its place, which is more Zowie-esque. It's more like an EC1 or an EC2 kind of spinoff. And I think a lot of us really want that old original Death Adder shape. I loved it. I thought it was really good. But now that this is the new Death Adder standard, presumably, as the V3, are we ever going to see the old shape? Are we not? And that's kind of my question with the Viper V3 is this mouse is not a Viper in the hand. The Viper is flat, and it just feels like you get much more fingertip usage, whereas this is more bulbous and higher. It just makes it feel even closer to a G Pro than the original Viper Ultimate or the Viper V2. And it's just odd to me that the Viper Mini Signature Edition, which is literally the Cobra got its own name, even though it's the same size and shape, yet a mouse that has a completely different in-the-hand feel to the original Viper has been coined the Viper V3. And I don't know if that means, are we ever going to see the original Viper shape that a lot of people loved and really enjoy? Or is this now the new Viper shape moving forward? Are we going to get like a Viper OG release in the future? I'm just not sure. It's just confusing how they've kind of coined this and released this. But that's like my only really big question in the air. Like, are we going to see the original Death Adder again? Are we going to see the original Viper again? I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. But overall, the build quality out of the box, the performance, everything felt great. I mirrored the early comments from other reviewers. The thing is really nice out of the box. But let's get you guys closer and take a look at the build quality. This is some of the best build quality I've ever had out of the box and far surpasses that of the G Pro Superlight 2. There is literally zero sway on mouse 1 and mouse 2. You can see I'm pushing, pulling, and they do not move. There's also no switch grind over mouse 1 or mouse 2 at all, and pre and post travel are minimal. Mouse 4 and mouse 5 are light and crispy and also very tactile feeling and very fast. The sway on the top of mouse 4 and mouse 5 is almost non-existent, and pre and post travel are almost non-existent as well. They've done a very good job. Another upgrade I feel is the scroll wheel over the original. It's a little less scratchy, smoother, and mouse 3 is very easy to spam. And the skate design does seem like an upgrade to me over the original Viper Ultimate, as well as the Viper V2. Getting into the size and shape comparisons, just to reiterate, the mouse is quite different in the hand than a Viper V2 or a Viper Ultimate because of the bulbous feeling hump, and because it does feel like it is raised quite a bit higher. It kind of makes you want to palm the mouse instead. Also, the sides do feel a little bit flatter in comparison to the Viper Ultimate, which kind of makes you want to fingertip it, but it does feel like it curves in a little bit more on the sides in comparison to the Viper V3. The mouse can be compared to a G Pro Superlight a little bit, But to me, the G Pro Superlight is actually a different mouse altogether. It feels more potato-ish. It's more vanilla. And that's because the hump kind of comes up gradually and progressively, and it's quite wide as it comes up, where the Viper V3 hump actually feels like it's a little bit more targeted in the hand, at least where my hand hits it, than the G Pro Superlight. Also, it does feel like the mouse flares out a little bit more on the bottom, so it does have a little bit more of a thumb curve feel to it on the left side of the mouse. And with that, the ridge on the right side of the mouse actually does hit me a little bit awkwardly near my ring finger, or my pinky finger right here on this little ledge on this side of the mouse here. So overall, if you kind of liked the G Pro Superlight 2, but it just didn't really work for you, the Viper V3 could be something that is interesting to try, but it's definitely in this size bracket. It's closer in size to a G Pro Superlight than in-hand feel to a Viper Ultimate. Comparing it to the mouse that I recently reviewed, the Beast X, the Beast X is like kind of similar in the sense that it's almost like a shrunken down version. The sides are kind of in the same form or fashion, and you can see how it kind of does mirror the front side of the mouse, at least in width. But overall, the Beast X, it just has a lot more inner hand maneuverability because it's a lot smaller in length. So where your fingers hit it, you just have all that room in the back to really get that extra movement. This is a larger mouse again, so it's just a little harder to do that, which is why I'm kind of still gravitating towards my Beast X. If you're looking for a larger mouse, though, this is definitely in the battlegrounds against the G Pro Superlight. And just to close out, the only other thing that I can really discuss is battery life. I was using this for about 9 hours today, 3 of which was probably in game, or 3.5. The other was just on desktop use, doing some work. I went on 8,000 hertz. I dropped 25% battery life. So the 17 hours that they have advertised is probably accurate for actual in-game use at 8,000 hertz. Is 8,000 hertz on this any better or more noticeable than 8,000 on the Dave? With the Gen 1 sensor, I can't tell a difference at all. Both of these mice perform great. I'm not going to pick up one or the other and just because of the sensor perform better. In fact, I probably still find myself playing better on the Dave because of the shape. But I'm going to put more time into the Viper V3, see how it goes, and I'll update you guys on whether or not it would be something that reaches into my top 3 or top 5. It's definitely got potential right now. I just need to put more time onto it. Right now, again, I'm still gravitating towards something a little bit smaller, the Beast X. But an absolutely fantastic job from Razer. I think the mouse definitely is killer out of the box. Some of the best build quality that I've had to date. And again, that performance felt flawless. It's really going to boil down to whether or not you're going to prefer this shape over the original Viper, or if you're even going to prefer it over something like a G Pro Superlight. If you guys happen to pick one of these up, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next review. Peace.